The LondonSean Star Wars Unlimited Variety Hour-ish is brought to you by Bantha Milk Plus. Mornings on Tatooine can be long and dusty, but nothing starts the day quite like a tall glass of Bantha Milk Plus. Smooth, refreshing, and now fortified with essential nutrients, Bantha Milk Plus gives you the energy to tackle whatever the galaxy throws your way. Mothers trust it, younglings love it, and even the hardest working moisture farmer won't begin his chores without it. So pour yourself a glass of Bantha Milk Plus today, the wholesome choice for the whole family. Bantha Milk Plus, it's not just blue, it's true. Hey everybody, my name is LondonSean and I am mediocre to poor at Star Wars Unlimited, but I'm trying something a little bit different with the way that I do my replays today, which is just having a bit of fun with it. I'm going to top and tail my game replays with a couple of things, just sort of pouring my mind out there and having a bit of fun with this and being a little bit more sort of true to myself, I suppose. So I'm going to start off operating my screen properly. I'm going to start off with my unscripted no confidence take of the week, which I'll explain in a moment. Then I will throw in some game replays in the middle there because that's what I enjoy doing. That's the entire reason why I'm running a channel to begin with. And then I'm going to finish with a spicy top five. So hang about, skip to the end if you need to. I'm going to start off with a big one today. I'm really going to sort of go for broke with probably the most important top five you could come up with if you're of a certain age. So check it out. Check out my top five. Yell at me in the comments, whatever you particularly fancy. But that's basically the general gist of what I'm going to go through today. So my unscripted no confidence take of the week is about this guy. And my unscripted no confidence take of the week is that I can't understand why this leader's current blue deck is not better than it actually it's showing. So you look at the results in your PQs, you look at your results in Worlds, it did okay in Worlds. It didn't set the world alight. It's the deck that, and I'm talking specifically about the blue variety here. I think the green variety does exist, but there's a wonderful quote for anybody who's aware of the sport of cricket. There was a couple of brothers who played for Australia in the 1990s. Their last name was Waugh, and there was Steve Waugh, who was the older brother, and Mark Waugh was the younger brother. And somebody was I think that the term that we would use is sledging, but they were talking garbage, talking rubbish to Mark. Well, Mark was talking garbage to them, and they said back to Mark, "Well, at least I'm the best cricketer in my family, and I feel the same way about Han Green. Like Han Green, yeah, Han Green's fine, but Han Green's not even the best Han. So I'm not going to sort of spend any time talking about it. Maybe that's my unscripted no confidence take of the week is that Han Green is hot crap. But this deck should be better than it is. This deck should be doing better than it is. It's. I wonder if people have just stopped iterating with it. I know I have, but it does really good stuff. It gets stuff out really, really quickly. And even when people have shifted to thinking about, I've got to deal with Kylo Tarkentown or Quinlan's the hot stuff, or there's more sort of control. Like this deck is still not finding its space in the meta where it's doing its things. And I don't know why, because it does, like, cheating these units, getting a Luke out early, getting all these things out early should be way game breaking, but they're not. So my no confidence take of the week is maybe all of that stuff pre-worlds, pre-galactics about Han2 being good. All of those people were just wrong, and those of us who don't sort of set the tide on these kinds of things just sort of got sucked along and decided to play a deck that actually, on paper, in theory, might have been good. Maybe it's just bad. Maybe it's just a bad deck compared to other things. I don't get it. I really don't. And this is as somebody, this is one of the decks that I played the most, and I just look at it and I just go, I don't understand how this continues to lose. So yeah, I think it might be crap. I think it just might be bad. At least relative to other stuff, it just doesn't. It basically has one plan and that's it. And if you can knock it off that plan, it's garbage. So there's your unscripted no confidence take of the week. So yeah, to pivot, funnily enough, we've got a Han2 blue here, as I continue to persist with it anyway, because it is fun to play. So now pivot to some game replays. So Kylo ECL, I played it into a lot of meta stuff. this week, so I'm making a specific effort to play best of threes and play them into more meta stuff. So I'm working on Kylo ECL at the moment, and you see me play a couple of games against Boba for Data Vault, which is it is sort of the deck at the moment, or one of the decks at the moment. Quinlan Tarkentab being the other one. There's a quick game against Talzin Red where the other player doesn't turn up. I do some specific. So one of the things I talk about is talking about deliberately or testing deliberately and testing into things and trying to work something out. And one of the things I'm trying to work out with Kylo ECL is there a way that you can work it out in aggro? So that replay's in there as well. And then one last quick blast through Hantu, or continuing to play with Hantu. So check out those replays now, and I'll see you on the other side when I get to my top 5. Hey everybody, my name's LondonSean. I am mediocre at Star Wars Unlimited, and today I'm going to go back to where I was pre-PQ weekend. I had a PQ in London this weekend where I did okay, 3-3 with Luke 4 Data Vault. But this is what I feel like was the deck I probably should have played until I got freaked out by getting hammered by Talzin Red at my local game store on the Monday night before. I decided I needed to pivot off. And in reality, I probably didn't, because this was the deck that I've enjoyed playing. It's solid, it's fun. It doesn't win into everything, because nothing really does at the moment. I don't think Quinlan players hit me up. But this is what I'm jamming at the moment. So what I'll do is I've made that too small. I'll pop a game up in Petra, and I'm going to start doing best of threes because I think they're better. And while that's queuing up, I'll talk through, I suppose, the deck. So it it's kind of on rails a little bit, insofar as your first turn is going to be about, you've got limited 2 drops, so you're probably playing Pershing, if you can, or Inferno 4, and start that filtering. You might, but not necessarily always, recycle your upgrades depending on the upgrade you've got. Second turn, you're probably looking to ramp in a lot of instances, not in all instances, but in most instances. And then you basically you want to get to the Anakin Vader turns as fast as possible. And this was probably one of the big takeaways I had from the weekend, was the difference between, say, Luke 4 Data Vault and a deck like this. Is what I found with Luke 4 Data Vault, no shots, but it has like one plan. Okay, if you can stop it in space, then it's gonna kill you. If, however, you if you're playing a deck like this, it can get you with Anakin, it can get you with Vader, it can get you with Kylo. It has a different number of different ways. So looking at this, we got a lot of the pieces we want. Like, we've got the heroism card, we've got the ramp, we've got the Anakin. This is a great hand. We definitely don't want to mulligan it. Actually, one of the most difficult things here is going to be, what do we turf? And I think, unfortunately, it's going to be the Inferno 4, because we want to get this into discard, and then we want to ramp the next turn. So what we're hoping for, I suppose, is to be able to draw something potentially we can play. Now, with Boba, I think, well, yeah, it's not a bad play either. Interesting. Okay, so we probably, he's not going to give us any ground units to do that with. We probably want to get to our top end. We want to, yeah, we probably, so if they're playing their deck well, which I suspect that they will be, Vader won't be as useful to us. Why don't we go to 4? Yeah, let's just take them off. Okay. And this is going to be me sort of testing this a little bit, whether or not resupplying there was the right play or not. We'll find out. Interesting that they're ramping as well. My hope with a deck like this is that we've got enough sort of big booty guys to keep their direct damage off us, but it's not always going to work like that. I think what I'm really worried about is making sure I get the removal for when this bad boy hits the table. This has really given us some interesting choices. Again, that was probably the wrong choice there, because I'm not sure how useful Vader's going to be. 2 Vaders is definitely not going to be all that useful. But we got a 5, we got a 6 next turn. We'll be able to play Anakin for a 6/6. Timely's handy. Maybe less so in this matchup. He goes to 5. He goes to 6 next turn. Salvage. Nice. Cool. Okay. It's only one place that's going. All right. That's okay, because we'll be able to. Okay. That is, I think, a mistake. To give me the ground. I sort of I get it, but I think it's a bit of a mistake. Ray is less useful to us now, and we just wipe their board, and away we go. So we go Vader, confirm. You can have that. Yes, I do. I mean, I say it's a mistake, but they'll know. So we'll go from here. See what they can play. They've got 3 cards in hand. Got to guess that one of these is a ship. Okay, we've still got and the temptation here, I think, is to want to, nice, to play the what was I going to say? To flip the Kylo as quick as possible. And it's almost always a mistake. Again, no, don't do that, dude. Don't do that, dude. Again, I'm not sure that that's as relevant. So we're going to do this again. I do. Cool. We are just going to claim that. We've still got the Anakin. Okay. These are all good cards. So we'll keep them for the bombs. So again, like the temptation here is to flip Kylo and blah blah blah, but it's just I don't think it's. So we'll just go and you. We need to start putting pressure on their base. But they've only got 2 cards in hand. Very ground based. Okay. Yep. Okay. So you can do 4 damage to base. What do we do? What do we do here? Kind of want to stall a little bit, I guess. Yeah, that's handy. So what do we need to do? 6. Depends on what they play here. We've got the second. No, we don't have the timely. So we can still play the reinforcement warrior. Yeah, walk up. Yep. Okay. Let's take you out. So we are. So now we're in a position where we probably need to stabilize a bit more, right? Okay. Probably a little bit early for doing that. So I think what I probably do here, what was I turfing? What was less useful? I think I want the Onyx Squadron Brutes, and I might take out one of those, and this is going to feel like a mistake. One of those. All right, let's see how we go. Or okay, what do we have? Yep. No ramp. We know they're playing ramp. We can draw into the ramp. No upgrades. I kind of want it. Yeah, take that again. Okay. Turn 1, turn 2. I don't want to necessarily. It's not auto to resource the timely, but sometimes you do. Okay, 2 Power of the Dark Sides. We've already got the Craving in there. Go away. That's fine. Okay, that's also fine. We're just looking to stall them early doors. Okay. This could be interesting. I think, what am I really looking for? Not looking for ramp necessarily. The heal is going to be more useful than the filtering, I think. Okay. Let's cycle. Interesting. Okay. You've done your work there, Mr. Pershing. Okay. Yeah, they're both good actually. Um, mm, mm, I think they're going to start to run away now. Okay. Just take some of that back. Thanks. Yeah, I've left myself in an awkward position here, Reese. I haven't thought about the resources good enough. Well enough here. Yeah. Okay. So we go to 6, wipe. So we're going to 7 soon enough. The Anakin can be triggered, which would be helpful. Just hoping to get to the reinforcement walker. Yep, that's fine. Take that ramp. Thanks very much. It's good. I'll choose Vader. Thank you. Yes, I do. Pardon me. Nice. We will just claim. Okay, now, do we have a plan for dealing with massive? Well, we might have, but we don't. All right, so what do we have? We have to go to 7. All right. So, turfing that Power of the Dark Side was a mistake. We can get him down to 4. How are we going to stop that? Timely, Vader. If he gives, obviously, if he gives us something on the ground, we're fine. So yeah, that was a mistake. 7, 8. Oops, I don't want to do that. All right, can we survive one more turn and then we can steal that? Possibly. Let's just, yeah, I know. I'm thinking. No, no, neither of those are useful. We're legitimately just gonna have to claim here, I think. Yeah. Okay. Don't give me a ground unit. Don't give me a ground. Yeah, okay. Yeah, do that. Okay. So I'm not sure I played that particularly well. Was that as a result of this silliness? Not necessarily. All right. Yeah. Ditching the power of the dark side was the big mistake there. Thinking, oh, they're going to go wide. I'm not going to be able to get the opportunity to get at them. That was a mistake. Okay, so we've got the 2 costs. We've got the cycle. We've got the ramp. We've got the Vader. Happy days. I need to value Ray more than I do. But not again. I don't think against this deck it's all that useful. Rummage. Super Laser Blast is interesting. You're less useful. You're very useful. Okay. Yep. Okay. So we go 3, 4. We don't have a 5, and that's, yeah. So that was why I should have kept Ray. But then at the expense of, we don't have a 5 cost play, which is going to be a problem. 3 indirect damage. Yeah. We don't have the power of the dark side this time. So I don't have anything to cycle with Kylo. But that's okay. Yep. Okay. Resupply. So, okay, yeah, it's fine. Yep. Not sure that was the right play to go with Jam Jam there. We might just claim, I think. I know Vader gives them the ramp, but it also just wipes the board. Yep. What are we looking to do here? Interesting, across the 2 games, I haven't actually played my leader yet. So we would send them to 7. I kind of want to save that, don't I? But the alternative is to take 5 in the face. I don't really want to do that either. My problem is I have no other way of getting rid of Bobber. I'm gonna try something stupid. No, it's legitimately too dumb. Yeah. All right. I'm sure that was a mistake. Because they go ship Bobber. And then how am I going to deal with it? I'm going to have to, yeah. Yeah, that was dumb. Okay, cool. So that's interesting. Mm-hmm. So we can take that off the board with Anakin. Do we have the craving power in there? We don't. We need it. It's going to be Pershing. I think I really want everything else. So if I throw him into him, yeah. If I throw him into, got to take Bubba off the table. Oh, I do want both of those, just in case. Yeah, I do. Yep, that's fair. Okay. We need to cycle the craving power in. The legal authority next turn will be 5 and 7 to steal. Steal that. Okay. Yep. Happy days. So we go to 23. That's a problem. Double timely. Uh, 5 and 9. Steal. What do I run into? What's he likely to play? So I can heal 6 and get back to 11. He goes back up to 17 anyway. But then I can grab the legal authority. Let's do that. No, I don't. Yes, I do. No, I don't. Feel like I'm getting a bit cute with this. Yeah. No, 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 no. Just can't get. Ah, yeah, that's game. Just about, isn't it? Uh, yeah. What have I done wrong? Couldn't get the legal authority into. Yeah, good game played. Okay, bit to think about there. We go maybe one more time. Not really making my case here for being a good community leader. That was an interesting one. Game 2 was the turfing the power of the dark side was a mistake. Game 3, I'm gonna have to watch that one back. I just couldn't get the actions to be able to get the legal authority in discard pile to steal. I'm not sure that would have been the game anyway. Snapping the super laser blast might have been a mistake. Yeah, just couldn't stabilize. Couldn't get sort of across the board, but it's a fun deck to play. I'm really enjoying it. I appreciate other people have their different varieties and their things that they like. I personally like this one. But yeah, need to think about that game. That was an interesting one. And you're going to see lots more bobber, I think. Let's see. I probably needed to play Ray more. Again, because it's not just that she's a heroic, it's that she's the 5 cost. If you look at the breakdown of the deck, she sort of fills that 5 cost slot. That and no glory, if you wanted to play no glory. Come on, people. We may it. Oh no, there we go. Okay, Talzin Red. Let's see how we go into Talzin Red. At least I'm playing meta stuff, which is not always the case when you're here, right? Okay, what do we have? Do we want to mulligan that? Yeah, I'm not sure I like where that's going. Okay, that's a little bit better, I guess. So we've got the resupply, Pershing. So that is actually a lot better, to be fair. So 2, so we do rummage. 2, 3, 5. Snokedoke. Pershing. Okay, I think Snoke. Snoke could actually be really useful against Talzin with its relative weenies, unless it gets the sun out. Then bad things happen. So we're doing this, aren't we? So look for Power of the Dark Side. There it is. Go away. That was fortunate. Oh dear. So now we go to 5, 6. What do we got in there? Both. That's handy. These are all good choices. 6. I don't think that's as useful. That's handy. Flip on 5. Oh boy. Um. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Cool. We will claim. I think that is more useful. Go away. Silly work people asking work questions. So we will clear their board with Anakin because we can. And just keep them off. Cool. And we will claim. I think I'll keep one of those. Anakin will control that. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, what do we have? 4 and 9. Not yet. So we'll just play Snoke. Indeed, have the other one. That's 2 of them gone. Okay. That's less relevant here. Okay. Now, this is an awkward number. This is an awkward number. I don't think they want to go bigger. Okay, so we go to 10. Because all my stuff is predicated on removing you from board. Yeah, that's cool. Interesting. Ray can go down. Start to try and get out there. You could super laser blast, which is cool. Okay. We will claim. Okay. We got 11. I kind of like all of those cards. Do I already have a legal authority in there? Yes, we do. Okay. Go to 6. Get restore. Let's just take him off the board. 3 cards in hand, lots of resources. Probably, yeah, okay. Goes to 8. 6. Just want to get wide enough to be able to flip and start pushing damage. Yep, that's cool. Okay, so now we go deploy 5, 9, pass, bosh, bosh. Off we go, yeah. That's how you do it. All right, so let's see if I can rectify the mistakes of the last game. This will be my last best of 3 for now. And what I'll do is I'll collect all of these videos and edit them all together, I think is where I'm going to start to go with this. No, they had enough. Fair enough. Okay, well, there we go. I can win games occasionally. So yeah, thanks very much for watching. And hopefully after this, there'll be more opportunities to watch me play trading card games. Okay, so one of the things that I've picked up over time is the difference between practicing and jamming games and practicing with purpose. And this is something hands up, hands on chest, hands aloft. I'm not always the best at, but I'm going to show you, I suppose, to a certain degree, what it means today by showing you what deliberate practice can look like, at least at a very basic level. So obviously, we all know you have your standard build of a deck. Okay, so this is my standard Kylo ACL, what I want to do with it. And I have a sideboard. And if I'm not playing best of 3s on Petranaki, first of all, play best of 3s on Petranaki or Karabas or wherever you get your practice. But also, what you can do and what you should do sometimes is build different configurations depending on what if you're struggling with certain things. If you're struggling with certain matchups, and this is where I think recording data is really, really useful. If you're getting a sense of what you're winning, so hopefully this will work. But I track every game that I play with every deck, and what that means is I can filter and I can say, okay, well, when I'm playing this particular deck, are there particular matchups that I'm struggling with, that I'm losing with on a regular basis? So that way I can identify, for example, when I'm playing my Kylo ACL deck, I'm losing to aggro a lot. So I classify, I don't just sort of say, I played against Sabine. I say, well, Sabine is an aggro deck. So I classify, and then I can have a look and say, okay, well, I've got this record against these decks. How many of those times were my fault, how many of those times will they match up? And then what you can do is you can test by making a couple of changes. You can test. So, you know, for example, maybe Chiltern is the answer into aggro. Now, I don't think it is, and I know this because I'm recording this video for a second time. I've already done this once this morning, and I tried it with Chiltern, and it didn't work, so we'll try it again. But this is how you can get there, is by making a small change. So, for example, I say a small change. I took out devotion, and I took out, I think, one other card, and I can't remember what it was, but I put 3 Chiltern in to see how it goes. So give it a test, play a couple of games, get a game. Don't be afraid to ask. So one of the things you can do, and we'll do it here, is I'll put the deck in there, and I'll edit, and I'll say looking for Sabine. Okay, and you create that game, and then hopefully what will queue up is somebody playing Sabine. So you can test it, and then if it doesn't work, then you try something else. You bought out Avenger and bought in Devotion because you want to stabilize, or bought in, you know, it turns out they were stronger in space than you thought they were, so you bought out Avengers because you're not going to get that late. Okay, that is not Sabine. So yeah, this is a more, I suppose, deliberate approach to your testing, so that you can get the data that you're looking for. And this is why good players and some mediocre players are able to, you know, they know what they're doing into certain games. So we'll try one more time, and then I will pause the recording and shout at the ceiling that people are having difficulty. Let's just double check. It's always worth, you know. Okay, I'm going to pause and shout. Okay, if you had guessed that it took me 12 different people logging in with different decks that were not Sabine before we got to this point, you would be wrong, because the answer was 18. That was nauseating. None of these cards are necessarily what I want to see, because I don't want to ramp. I either want, there's the Chiltern. Okay, so we'll give it a go. Actually, there's a ramp into Chiltern, which is fun. Entrenched could be useful. Okay, so that's what we'll do. We'll cycle. Ideally, I've tried a couple of different lines with this. Oh, there's a Power of the Dark Side. That's quite good. So I've tried. Okay. So do we? Excellent. Do we ramp or do we? So now I think we have to ramp. And we don't Power of the Dark Side. This feels bad, but we'll do it anyway. So we'll ramp to go to. I didn't need to ramp there, actually. In fact, that was a mistake on my part, because what I wish I had have done there, I didn't need to ramp, because I'm now going, oh, yeah, maybe we get there later. Okay. Yeah. Don't need the 2 timelies. So now, unfortunately, yes, we're Chiltern, but we're getting attacked in space. Let's do it anyway. Let's prevent that Porg from doing the 1 damage. They're doing 6 in space. They're 12 to 2. We'll claim. What it does mean is that we need a villainy card in the discard to be able to wipe space with Annie next turn. It does also, yeah, that is okay. That's very bad. Yeah, that Porg is doing good work. There's the card we were looking for. So we will get smacked in the face here. In fact, this might already be done because of it. Take away the space. Yeah, GG. So it didn't quite work the way that we wanted there. This doesn't matter. Yep. Okay, so we go again. We got, and it's worth bearing in mind there, we actually got the Chiltern that we wanted. So we bring space in. We don't need this big stuff. We bring some space in that we can potentially stop them with. Pershing is great. Pershing was the other card that I brought in. I'd probably rather be able to stabilize a bit there. So this is what the testing is about, is going, okay, does Chiltern solve the problem? Well, it doesn't solve the problem if you're not playing enough blue stuff to, even then, like the Darksaber just smacked him in the face. Okay, so do we ramp again? Do we try ramping again? Um, it's not a great matchup for us. Do we ramp again? Is that what gets us there? I think it might be. We've got the Anakin. No. All right. So we're going to try the Chiltern line again. I don't think we're racing. And I don't think that was an interesting call. So first thing we'll do, trying to find our way through this matchup. Okay, so we will try to stabilize a little bit, potentially. Yeah, might be impossible. I get the feeling it might be. Loving the porgs. Free porgs. Good force throw. Yeah, I'll let you know. Okay. You gotta have fun. You gotta have fun with this stuff, honestly. So we go to 3. Is there anything we can play on 3? There's nothing we can play on 3. We can't ramp, so we want a 2 cost. We're more likely to need to stabilize with or steal. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll use Inferno 4 to cycle. I'm not sure we need either of those. Ideally, we'll get a Vader. Rummage, Entrenched could be useful. Okay, so we don't have the actions here to be able to throw the Onyx. We'll just let them go to 3. Yeah, that's fine. We don't need the other Anakin. So go to 4. That's interesting. So we'll go Chiltern again, and this time we get a bigger Chiltern. And we can't ramp to 5. What's he? He's doing 4. That's pretty handy. We'll rummage again. Okay. So we're only getting the -3 from Anakin, which is a bit of a bummer. That's nice. I'm giving them that. General's played on the parliamentarian. Oh, it's excellent. It's so good. We are relatively stabilizing here, though. He says as he gets smacked in the face. All right. So we need to stop this nonsense, I suppose. I don't think we're going to get there anyway. The blade and the devotion. There's the Vader we needed. I don't know if we just claim in a minute. Yeah. Oh, well, that was fun. Yeah. You too. So what did we learn? And this is where you learn something from the experience and you go, okay, so so the first thing that we learned is that players on Petranaki don't read when it says looking for Sabine. and some very, very good players as well. I'm not going to say that one of the world's best players ignored it, but one of the world's best players did ignore it. Second thing we learn is um, sometimes this is how you have to test stuff, right? Is to work out what what works, what doesn't work. And what we found there was that Chilton came out in both games and just wasn't the solution because Sabine will just can just strap things like Darksaber and kill Chilton. It's a speed. It's not even a speed bump. It's not the speed bump you hope it to be. Okay, so it's not the solution. And what you don't want to do is water your deck down so far that you take away what makes it good. So you're not going to win every matchup quite often, particularly in a meta like this one, right? So what you don't want to do is take a deck that's good into 70% of things in order to try and make it good against the remaining 30%, then make it worse against other matchups. So by all means, test, iterate, try things. We tried something, it didn't work. RIP Lieutenant Chilton in Kylo, but always worth. This is the fun. Like if you don't enjoy this to a certain degree, sometimes I don't think trading cards at games are for you. But a bit of fun. We learn something, and onwards and upwards we go. And just for one more thing that's a little bit different, I'm going to continue my journey in trying to make myself better with Han2. So another thing to consider when you are sort of trying to play a game is sometimes playing a variety of decks, but play a variety of decks in order to understand how they work is another thing that you can do. So Hunter doesn't really fit that bill for me. I could be playing Quinlan if I wanted to do that right now, but I'm just going to play something a little bit different. So we'll throw a private game up, and we'll see how we go. Just pause for a second, get that sorted, and then come back. All right, so let's see how we go here. Into Quinlan. Grogu's the play. Octo is probably no good. Force throw is useful. Yeah, let's do this. So. Well, that's a tough call, I feel like. Because the Sentinel with this Force switched on could be really useful. Owen could be really useful. Wow, what a terrible choice. It's Key or Chirrut, and I think it's that. So we'll move damage. Do 2. That was a mistake. All right. Yeah, that was a mistake. Because I didn't switch on the Force. Oh, that was so stupid. So stupid. All right. So how do we dig ourselves out of this hole? Throw you. They lose a Force throw. That's a horrible misplay. I'm so annoyed at myself for that. All right. Now somebody's getting exhausted. Anakin's less useful. Grogu gets exhausted. We will heal. Yeah, so bad. All right. So we got a 5. All right. We will get the 4 in. Do we go aggro or control? Let's go control-ish. We will heal, sort of just dirtle a bit. Okay, so now we can play that. Now we can move damage from key, confirm there. We can flip. Yeah, that's fine. Claim. Pillage is live. Pillage can keep us in the game. Well, I'm going to move to. No. Ugh. Oh, it's so bad. Give you 3/3, then move that, get rid of Quinlan, force throw, yeah. We really shouldn't be allowed to get away with this. Move the damage off Luke. Put it on Quinlan. Heal. Chuck Bendu down. Well, first of all, continue to stabilize. Yeah. Mm. You're kidding. That's a great shot. So I guess that was better than the force throw, right? These are not great cards. These are not what we want at all. But you hold on hope that you get a crate or something like that, right? Or another Bendu. Well, not another Bendu, but yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of stop beating yourself up over the, oh, yeah, again. Okay. Let's just concede that one. Horrible misplay. Now, I don't think there's anything in the board that we really need. Maybe it's more of what would I take out? And I don't think there's anything I really want to take out. It was maybe the Obi-Wan Kenobi. But let's go again. Okay. Rio and Octo doesn't really do us any good. I think we can do better. Yaddle. No, that's not great. But maybe we can sneak something together. The Obi's handy, so we go Yaddle into key for 4. And this is a good mental thing. That misplay is still messing with my head, and you just need to let it go. So he could have an open fire. That'd be silly. Claim, pass. Don't need the second fell. Ideally, we'll get the force here and then we'll be able to, okay, so off to the races we go. Okay, so now we've got to think. We go 4. So fell isn't going to help us. 2 and 2, or the turret with the force. Feels like a brave call. Yeah, that's cool. And we go switch the force on, because that way now we can drop turret. See what they name. That will dictate which way we go. Interesting choices. Yeah, so now we go Grogs and Sage. Claim. Do you really want me to play Anakin? Get out the Obi quickly. We get rid of Kira so that we can play turret? Actually, yeah. The other question is, who do we buff if they kill Obi? Given that they won't no glory him, so he's safe to play here. Okay. And now the answer becomes Quinlan. Yeah. Cool. Who do we buff? Buff Yaddle, I guess. He's doing 3, 6, 9, 12, 18. So we need to control this board a bit. We can kill with that. Okay. And I can flip. And kill Kira to be able to put turret back online. Luke can do +3 stuff. Ezra's probably less relevant here. The big bomb that I'm looking for is probably Han. So we go there, go to 6. Yeah. We move off Grogs and kill Klo. Dapa comes on. We do a 6. Can't do a 6. We can kill her for 4, but then we have no other plays. But the force, so what we can do is we can do turret and then double force throw, which is I think what we'll do. We'll just strip their hand here. 2, we'll get rid of the day bar. So 4 gets you over the line. Pass, crate is gas. Luke is good. So we just go 7, 8, 9 from here. Yep. Yes, we do. Just go bar, bar. Oh, hang on a second. Uno momento, por favor. And in fact, in the spirit of uno momento, por favor, I just need to stop. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think we probably saw the writing on the wall. Okay. Let's see if we can get the third game in here. Hmm. I find Han Blue's a good deck, but you've got to play it really well. All right, we're going to stop the recording there and leave the mystery. So hopefully you watched some of those replays. Hopefully you got something out of it. So I'm going to wrap up with my top five. And this episode, my top five is going to be my favorite Star Wars films. And just before, I'm going to say something before I trigger myself. These are not what I consider to be the best Star Wars films. That is a separate conversation. I got really put out by the whole Last Jedi discourse. So I'm putting these out there. These are my, in order, top five favorite Star Wars films. And at number five, maybe surprising to some people, I've got The Phantom Menace. Number five is there not because of Jar Jar Binks, not because of pod racing, not because of um, taxation of trade routes. It it is entirely there on the basis of the lightsaber duel between Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, and Darth Maul. And my maybe this should have been my unscripted hot take. Um, I still think one of the biggest mistakes Lucasfilm ever made was allowing the double-bladed lightsaber of Darth Maul to be in the teaser trailer, in the initial trailer for The Phantom Menace, because I think that movie was, you don't need to tease people to come to that movie. For those of you who were around in the late 90s, like it was everywhere. You didn't need to tease people to come to that movie. But I say often, I wonder about a parallel universe in which that was not spoiled and people reacting on day one when that film was released to see that moment of Maul lighting up the second half of the lightsaber. The teenage me would have just absolutely melted in my cinema seat. My favorite lightsaber duel of all of the lightsaber duels, and that's why it gets that spot number five. Number four, maybe controversially, The Force Awakens. Is it a beat for beat later remake effectively of A New Hope, but with a faster start? Yes. Um, it, do the characters have less chemistry than the original trilogy? Yes. Is it a fun film? Hell yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It really like it's. I love watching this film. I really enjoy this film. You know, I can't look at these things too critically because they're fake and they're in space and they're about wizards that don't exist. And this is a fun film. You know, is it? Yeah, there's some great comedy bits in it as well. Like Kylo throwing the temper tantrum still makes me laugh. Han basically saying, you know, it's a space station, we'll just blow it up the same way we blew the other ones. Like it is nodding to itself. It's great. It's a really fun film. And obviously it goes without saying that's disappointing the rest of the trilogy couldn't live up to it, but it's a really fun film. It's really great. I remember being really excited walking out of The Force Awakens and really enjoying that film. Number three is Rogue One. This is more, I think, a reflection of age than anything else, which is this is your grown-up Star Wars film. Okay, this is your more gritty one. I can pick holes in it for sure because it's a Star Wars film. Like it is incredibly slow in parts, and but it's just like getting that backstory. It's so good, and obviously Andor um, sort of really gives it a different feeling, but just the grittiness of it, just the real world, like, oh, okay, that's, you know, these are some of the things to consider. I think one of my favorite things about Rogue One as well is that it proves canonically that Australia exists in the Star Wars universe because you've got Ben Mendelsohn talking in an Australian accent as Krennic. There has to be an Australian planet somewhere in the Star Wars universe, and I choose to believe it, and nobody will convince me otherwise. Number two, Empire Strikes Back. Okay, um, I know critically people love it, and it, have always enjoyed it. It's the one that introduces you to Yoda. It ups the stakes. Hoth is amazing. Cloud City is amazing. The middle is a bit slow. Um, you've got bounty hunters. It's a great film. The twist, sure. I mean, I wasn't um, I wasn't there in 1980 to see the twist when it came out. Good film, really great film, really enjoyed it. But for me, and I think that the fact that Phantom Menace and Force Awakens and New Hope are all on this list says something about me. And the fact that my favorite Lord of the Rings movie is Fellowship of the Ring is I like the movies when they're relatively self-contained. And I think the reason why I prefer New Hope to Empire Strikes Back is Empire Strikes Back finishes with that cliffhanger, and you kind of have to watch Return of the Jedi. A New Hope, I kind of feel like it exists in its own bubble, and I like that. I like that. Um, I think anybody who's making these kinds of top five lists and puts like Empire Strikes Back at number one is severely underestimating how cool the trench run is and how cool the Death Star is and how cool that entire back third of that film is, and being convinced of the importance of I am your father. And I get it as a plot twist. It's one of the all timers, but that trench run battle is probably my favorite moment in cinema. And for that reason, New Hope was never going to be anything other than number one. When I was growing up, I have three boys in my family, two brothers and me. And my parents got the VHS copies of the Star Wars trilogy. And New Hope was the one that went to me, and I watched it until the screen went funny. It will always be my favorite Star Wars film. So there you go. Finishing up with my favorite Star Wars films. Thanks very much for watching the episode. Hit like, I hate to do this thing, but hit like, hit subscribe, follow along, comment, let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, and I will try to do another one next week, and we'll see how we go. But may that force be with you.